And even at that time too, I probably didn't like Parks. Like I was like, fuck that dude. Like I'm young and we're doing our own thing. You know, I've got my own sponsors, and he probably moved out and was like at his other house down the way. And I hung out with Ruck, but Ruck hung out with him. So we'd end up hanging out, but I was like, no, that dude's kook. Like,
So what's that relationship like? You know, you're 16, he's, 18-ish.
yeah,
Probably making a ton of money.
I think from like 14 to 16, I was kind of like, I need to separate myself from Parks because he was like such a icon and like such an image. I was like, if he's doing this, I've got to go a little bit different, or at least I can't be piggybacking his stuff still. And like, and I could see it, like the more I did, brands or magazines would sort of embrace it. They'd be like, oh, this guy's, you know what I mean? Like you could see if I wore baggy stuff or dyed my hair, I did something, and they would like post it. And I was like, okay, I'm a lot different than him. Like I can have an image in this and not have to be.
I'm still talented in my own right, skillful.
Yeah.
But I can go down a different lane than him. Were you resentful to him at all at that point? Or was it just...
Not resentful, but I mean, he was already so successful and pretty badass. And like, it was just kind of like even the early days of Pointless, all of us, like, cause it wasn't even Pointless at that time. It was just like, what we were trying to figure out what was going on. Mm-hmm. And we were like, Parks isn't in this. Like, this isn't for Parks. Parks is already something. This is to show everybody who we are. And we're like, if we put Parks in it, he's just going to overshadow everybody. He's already badass. Like, we need to have our own video of us, like, coming up.
Okay, so I think that's something really interesting to talk about. So when you get the camera, you're kind of formulating the crew, like you're saying. There was a conversation, it sounds like, that was very much so like, is Parks going to be in this, or is Parks not going to be in this? And were you, and probably maybe others, like, hey, like you were just saying, this isn't Parks' thing, like, this is our thing.
I mean, because Pointless lasted for, up until we finished the first video, it was like two years or more of us filming and doing stuff. So it was like, we always had footage of Parks, and it was good. And I would just be filming for him, like for, I don't know, whatever we were going to use it for or whatever. But I remember it being like, no, this is like 6 of us, and it's going to be just a small, like, Parks isn't in it. It's just this. And I wanted it to be, way more like CKY, like jackass antics and like playful, like almost talking shit on wakeboarding. So yeah, there was a moment that we were like, Parks isn't involved, right? Like he's not. And we're like, no, he's not. But it's like, we got so much good footage up. Like there's so many tricks, like never before seen stuff that Parks has done. It's like, what do we do? And then as that, like from the start to, probably within that first year, he would like came around and was like became cooler and like hanging out with us and not, whatever it was. And then we were like, I mean, he's pretty cool. And like, we're all going to shine still. We all got good stuff, but like Parks actually might get more. I don't think we did it like, oh, Parks might get more eyes on this if he's in it, but it was like, he's here. We've already doing it. And it was like, it was that way for not a lot of the guys, but we didn't know what we were doing. Like even like Grub was in, like he was there and he was doing it, but he was like it started wake skating. And we were like, is this like a thing? And like, same with Chad, like whenever we first met Chad and like he started riding, we were like, I mean, we've already got our crew. It's us 5 or 6. Like, are we adding more? And then it was like, well, yeah, like Chad's crazy. He's insane. Like he keeps doing, we're like, all right,
Chad
so
Sharp.
now it's just, Chad Sharp. And he was like, okay, so Chad's in. And then we're like, well, yeah, and we can also do, like, we had tons of footage of Grub wakeboarding, but then immediately at one point he was like, I'm wake skating now. So he's like, that's why his section starts with wakeboarding, like in black and white. And then it like goes to wake skating. So we're like, yeah. Like it was just all us trying to figure it out. And then, yeah.
So slowly, naturally, Parks was kind of worked back into it.
Yeah. And Weineker wasn't really even going to be in it either. And then we were like, but he's here all the time. We hang out with him. He's, we've got some shots of him. He's like part of the boys. And it was like, we always would like go back and compare it to like Wu-Tang. We're like, well, there's obviously some famous people in Wu-Tang, but there's also dudes that you don't know. You know, you do know because they're in Wu-Tang, but there's like
Exactly.
Method Man and like Ghostface Killer. Those dudes are the forefront. Like we know that they're the best, but like there's also a crew that has their position in here without being, you know, on the same level as Parks and whatever.
Yeah.
So
Where'd the name come from? Pointless.
an Atmosphere song.
Okay.
Oh no, that's where Incomplete came from. That's where the title Incomplete came from. Pointless, I think it just.
This shit's
I think
pointless,
just,
man.
yeah, we didn't know what we were doing and we didn't know how it was happening, but like we were just like, I mean, literally listening to Atmosphere all the time back then. But
Bumping it.
yeah,
Okay.
we didn't know what it was. Like, so we just threw out an idea and we're like, Pointless. And then as soon as it was like a name, we were like, oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Yeah.
Like all of this is pointless. Like what we're doing is like so good. And it was like me and Danny that I think it was like San Francisco X Games that we like went to an embroidery shop and got like a first Pointless hats, and we were like putting stickers on our boards like this is the name. This is the name now. We're a crew.
Love it.
Yeah.
Was anybody else bummed that they weren't in Pointless? I mean, sounds like you're adding people, but was there people that were like wanted to be in a crew and like asked you, hey, could I come and film for? I mean, did you even know you were filming for a movie at that point, or were you just filming and then the movie kind of got created?
Yeah, no, it was just, I mean, we knew we were filming for a movie. Like we were always logging clips and it turned into like this is what we're doing. We're filming for a video and this is our crew video. But there wasn't, everybody that we rode with was just those guys. Like there wasn't much riding from other people. And even whenever somebody else would come around us, they would almost be like, oh my God, those guys are definitely in a boy, like it's a boy band. Like we don't even belong over there because they just
boys are rowdy.
They hype each other up. They're like part of this circle that we're not in. So
man,
yeah, it was. I mean, I honestly can say it was the time of my life.
So did you realize at that point in the time, like people always say, like those were the good old days? Did you realize in the moment, you know, these might be the good old days that people refer to?
I thought they would last for a lot longer than Pointless did because Pointless faded out fairly fast. Well, we just didn't keep making videos, but it was like the crew's always still there, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, we thought it would. I thought like, no, we didn't know it was the good times when we were in it, but we were having a blast while we were in it. That's for sure. Like,
yeah, we'll talk about the end of Pointless a little bit, but not the end. But
yeah,
not making more videos is what I'm referring to there. So what was fascinating to you about the filming and editing process of, so you get a camera, you get a computer, you're kind of the brains of the filming, editing, we're making a movie type
I
deal.
was just like the point and click guy. Like I really wasn't like the one manufacturing it all. Like everybody was very involved with editing their own sections,
really
filming, being the whole part. Like everybody was like filming and doing it all. Like I just got stapled with it because it was at my house and I had the computer and
well, without you, it wouldn't have happened, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did put it all together, but everybody was pretty, you know, by the end of it, it was like all pretty equal. It like went through its phase. Like for Incomplete, like everybody was like, we'd wakeboard all day and then like come back to the house and be editing and hanging out and partying in our room, just playing video games. Like there's like a time lapse in Incomplete where it's like all of us in that room and there's like the laptop or there's the computer, there's a video game and then like 2 bunk beds, but it's like people, we're just like
futon over here.
Everybody's just cycling around. So we'd like work on Ruck's section for, 20, 30 minutes. And then he would swap out and like, Danny would come sit in and we'd like be TDing with his and like dropping shots that we got that day. So everybody was like super involved and it was just like sort of me that was like clicking. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are all editing together. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You were the point and click guy. What's editing like back then? I mean, so you were filming on what, the VX1000?
Yeah. VX1000, VX2000 by that point too. We got a VX2. Danny bought one. So he was like, Committed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you had like something in the game, you know, like I think he bought a VX2. Actually, yeah, he bought a VX 2000 because we were filming the picnic tables, and Grub, like picnic tables are lined up like this, and Grub, the boat's out here, and somebody's hitting the rail here. Grub's on the inside on the bench part of the picnic tables trying to get the shot, and I think it's Danny, and he just like starts sliding off and coming right at Grub, and he just rolls in the water. Like with the camera. So like literally that day or the next day, Danny's like, let's go to the store. And he's like, just bought a VX2. And I was just like, let's go. And I was like, all right, cool. We got a camera again. We're back in it.